Guys, today I'm going to show you really quickly kind of my go-to eye makeup look. Most days it's really simple and easy. I use one palette, not a lot of fuss. I think it's really pretty, it's very wearable, and it's great for really all eye colors, but especially if you have blue or green eyes, these shades are going to help enhance your color in your eyes. So I do have most of my makeup on except my eye makeup, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first I am going to put a primer on my eye just to make sure that my shadows stay all day, and I'm just using the Paint Pot by MAC in Soft Ochre. This is kind of what I use all the time. I like it because it has a little bit of color. It's just going to cancel out any discoloration on the eyelid and just kind of give a really nice canvas for your eyeshadows to adhere to. It also kind of brightens up the eye a little bit, but as you can see, it doesn't have any really color to it aside from just like a bare canvas color. Okay, so the palette I'm going to be using is the Viseart, and this is the Neutral Matte palette. Let me take this top off so you can see without a glare. But it's just a really great basic matte eyeshadow palette. At a first glance, there's nothing that is really super special when you look at this, but I feel like everyone needs to have a palette with these shades in it because it's great for a palette alone, but it's also great to have these shades to incorporate into other fun looks that you might do. This palette is a little bit expensive. It's $80, but I find that it really is great quality. I wanted it for a long time and I finally got it a couple of months ago, and I really use it every day. So I'm going to start by using the white shade, which is right here in the corner, and I'm just going to get this on a brush, and I'm going to put this underneath my eyebrow. I really like this shade for underneath the brow. Even though it looks really white in the palette, it's not that, like, it's just the perfect brightness under the brow. It's not too bright or too stark. And I like putting more of a matte underneath the brow. I really try and stay away from shimmer underneath the brow, especially a brighter shimmer, because I feel like it just looks too intense. So I like using a matte shade or a shade that has a little bit of a sheen to it, but nothing shimmery or frosty. Okay, so next I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply my transition shade. I'm going to use this, I'm going to start with this one right here. It's this like kind of like matte, kind of softer peachy shade. And I'm just going to put this all in my crease. I'm using a 224 brush by MAC. This is a really great crease blending brush because it's really soft. I am going to use a brush that's a little bit more of a detail brush to apply a darker color in the crease when I want to control that product more. This I want to kind of just have a nice wash of color, so I do want a bigger, fluffier brush. If you have really small eyes, this brush might be too big for you, but the brush that I'm going to use in a second will be perfect for you, so you'll see that in just a second. So again, I'm just putting this in my crease, and it's okay to even kind of take it on the eyelid if you want. The warmth in this shade is just really going to contrast with green or blue eyes and just make them stand out. Okay, so next I'm going to deepen this a little bit more, and I'm going to grab, I'm actually going to mix two shades together. So I'm going to mix this brown right here, and then I'm going to mix the one right next to it, which has a lot more red to it. I'm going to mix the two of those together. And I'm using this brush, which is probably my favorite crease brush. It's by MAC. It's the 221. You can compare it to the 224, and you can tell it's a lot smaller. So this is really, really easy to control the product placement that you're working with. It just gives it almost makes doing your crease just dummy proof. I mean, really, it makes it so easy. So I'm just going to start in the outer corner, and then I'm just going to kind of softly blend this into the crease. I'm not going to take it really further than about where my pupil is. I'm not going to take it all the way over because I do want to keep my eyes bright and wide-eyed. And the further you go in with that darkness, it's going to kind of close the eye off a bit. So you want to be careful doing that depending on your eye shape. You may want that. You know, you may have large eyes and a lot of space there, then you want to kind of close it up a bit. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to really concentrate and keep this in the outer corner. Okay, so next I'm going to pop the color on my lid, and I'm using this shade right here, which is right next to the orange shade that I used. So it's about the third lightest shade in the palette. I don't want to go with something super, super light, but I do want something that's going to contrast with these darker colors and brighten the area up. So I'm just going to load up my brush, and then I'm just going to come here and I'm going to just pack it on my eyelid. These shadows are such great quality. Sometimes mattes can be a little difficult to blend out. These blend so easily. And you can obviously tell there's a lot of pigment in these. They're really, really nice shadows. If you are curious about these and wondering if they are worth the price, I think they are. They have a variety of other palettes to choose from. So they have some with shimmer, they have other colors. There's a few others that I am interested in. There's like a bridal one that looks really pretty, and there's one I think that's called Muse or Paris or something like that, and that one looks really pretty. I figured I would start with the basic, something I knew I would use all the time. Make me feel a little bit better about paying $80 for this. Okay, so next I'm just gonna kind of go in and perfect everything just to make the eyes even. So I'm gonna take that brush that I just used, the crease brush, and I'm gonna go back and just kind of play with this a little bit and blend it over a little bit. I want where the light and the darker shades meet to be really soft. I don't want there to be a really defined line or separation there. So I'm just kind of going over it. I didn't add any product to this brush, so I'm really just using what was left on it, and also kind of moving what is on my eyelid over a little bit. This is just, I just love this look. It is so pretty and it's so simple and so wearable. I feel like it is just like the perfect amount of glam to your eye makeup without looking like you have a ton of eyeshadow on. Okay, so next I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna kind of dust away any fallout that I might have had. I'm just gonna use this brush. This is by Morphe. It's the M438. I really like this brush a lot. I use it a lot for under the eyes to set my concealer or to just brush away any fallout. I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever translucent powder, the HD powder. It's loose, and I'm just gonna take a little bit on the brush and then brush away any fallout, also kind of set the concealer at the same time, and softly brighten under the eye area. Okay, so I'm not gonna do any liner on top. I'm gonna skip liner on top. I'm gonna do a pretty strong liner on the bottom, so we'll just leave the top bare. I am gonna load up my lashes though. I have fallen in love with a new mascara I'm excited to talk to you guys about. I may have already talked about it, but it is the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes, and I actually just picked up a new tube, so this is the second tube that I've bought. This is amazing. I love the Chanel Le Volume. I love them equally, although I've been grabbing this one more. I feel like this separates a little bit better than the Le Volume does, but they're both great mascaras. The only thing I can say about the Charlotte Tilbury is I go through it really quickly. I went through my first tube, I feel like, in 6 weeks or so, where I feel like the Le Volume lasts maybe twice as long. So I'm gonna start by applying my Dior Lash Primer. I never put mascara on without putting this on. This makes such a difference. It's amazing. My lashes, I'm so impressed with how long they have grown. I've been using the Rodan & Field's Lash Boost since probably January, beginning of the year. And my lashes are, for me, really long and thick. So this is a brand new tube of the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes. I love it. I know she has another mascara that I have not tried. I was reading some reviews about the other one, and I don't think it got as great of reviews as this one. I feel like whenever I get a new tube of mascara, the first application is never as great as like future ones. I don't know why that is. I don't know if like kind of exposing the wand to air and thickens it up a bit. I don't know. But I feel like I fell in love with this mascara after the second or third use. So it is just such a pretty mascara. It really gives dramatic lashes, and it separates, adds volume, and I feel like it helps curl your lashes. I'm not sure if it does, but when I first bought this, I compared it to the Chanel Volume. So I did one eye with this mascara and the other with the Chanel. And at the end of the day, the one that I used this mascara with looked like my lashes held the curl better. And if you're like extra sassy, you can combine the two. So I've even applied this, and then I'll take the Le Volume and just kind of run it over the base of my lashes just to give a little more thickness there. But I'm not gonna do that today. Okay, so I lied. I said I wasn't gonna add a little of the Le Volume, but I think I am. Because I don't have liner on this makeup look, I really want my lashes to be really thick at the base. So I'm gonna take the Chanel Le Volume and I'm just gonna like kind of wiggle it in the base of my lashes with my eyes closed. And that is just gonna give a little bit more depth right there at the base. Tell this mascara is a lot thicker than the Charlotte Tilbury. This is also an older tube, obviously, because the Charlotte Tilbury is brand new, and this one I've been using for about 2 months. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll come back and do my lower lash line. Okay, so for my lower lash line, I am gonna use the palette, but I'm gonna start by putting a actual liner, a kohl pencil down first to just intensify that line and give the shadow something to adhere to so that it doesn't fade throughout the day. I'm using this double wear Estee Lauder pencil. This is a new product that I've been using. I like it. I think next time I'm gonna grab a little bit of a darker shade, but this shade is Deep Plum, I believe. Yep, Deep Plum. I like going for like kind of dark plum colors. I feel like it really complements the green in my eye versus just standard brown. Or I like looking for browns that have a little bit of shimmer or kind of warmth to them. That's gonna complement any blue or green eyes that you have as well. Okay, so next I'm gonna take my palette and I'm gonna take a 212 brush by MAC. I love this brush for running it underneath your lower lash line if you're doing liner. I like it because it's pretty like defined versus using like a smudging brush like this. You can tell these two brushes are great for under the lash line. This is gonna give a smokier, softer look. This is really going to give the look of like an eyeliner pencil, which is what I want. And I am gonna let's take this shade right here. So I did use this on my eyelid. It's this really nice, warm, kind of not too dark, but kind of a mid-tone brown. And I'm just gonna go right over that liner. Did have a brightener in my waterline. You can tell that I did off camera. All right, and then a little mascara on your lower lashes. Okay, and if you're like me, half the time you get a little mascara on your skin, either on your eyelid or underneath like I did. Resist the urge to clean it right away. Let it dry. Once it dries, you can just flake it off with a Q-tip or with a brush. Mascara is meant to adhere to hair, not to skin, so if you do let it dry, it'll come right off. If you try and remove it when it's still wet, it's just gonna smudge and make a big mess. So while that's drying, I'm going to touch up my eyebrows. I did have a little, what did I have? I had the Brow Definer by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then I'm gonna apply this Brow Gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a product that I've been loving. It's a tinted brow gel, so on days that I don't really have a lot of makeup on, I'll just use this alone without using a powder or a pencil, and it really just gives my natural brows a little bit more color. It doesn't really shape them or define them, but it gives my brows something. But I also like to use it on after I've done my eyebrows in powder or pencil, because it kind of, I feel like it makes them look a little more full, and it also kind of picks up and plays with the highlights in my hair. This shade is, this shade, they don't have the name of the shade on here. I think it's caramel or something. I'm gonna look online and I will be sure to link it down below, but it's really pretty. It's nice if you have, even if you have blonde hair, this will work, but if you have brown hair with highlights in it, this is a great shade to kind of play with that a little bit. Okay, so now that my mascara is dried, I'm gonna go and just clean it off. And I'm gonna use a clean makeup brush for the lower part. And then I'm just gonna use this shadow brush that I use on my eyeshadow for the eyelid. And there you have it, you guys. This is my simple go-to makeup look. I don't feel like it took that long. It says that I've been filming for 17 minutes, but I would say you could do this eye in probably 5 minutes. But yeah, I love this look. I think it's very wearable. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great for really any occasion, for the office or for going out on a date with your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever. I just think it's a really pretty look, and I think it's very complimentary of blue or green eyes. So if you try this, let me know in the comment section below. As always, I will have all of the products linked down below so you can shop from right there. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.